So who won? Who actually won this conflict between Iran, Israel, and the US of A? Well, let's try and understand what the Israelis are saying, because they think that they lost big time. Hello everybody, my name is Stavros. I'm a professor of international relations and advocate for democracy globally. This is Black Flag Media. We are raising the black of independent commentary of what's happening around the world. We are trying to analyze and understand what is going to happen in the future, who is to blame about this new cycle of violence in the Middle East. So let's try and understand, because it seems that Israelis they keep attacking Lebanon. They are attacking ambulances. They're attacking non-combatants. They're attacking hospitals. They're attacking everybody right now because they are trying to stop this ceasefire. They don't want this peace between the Iranians and the Americans. But why is that the case? Why do they feel that they didn't get what they wanted, that they didn't meet their objectives, that they didn't fulfill the goals of this operation? Well, what I would like to do today is actually to read to you some of the statements by the members of the opposition inside the Knesset. This is the Israeli parliament. Basically, they're saying that this is a disaster, political disaster, that in essence, that we lost this war, and that the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he failed us. For instance, let's see, Yair Lapid, who's an opposition leader, he used to be prime minister. He sharply criticized this ceasefire. He said this is a failure of political and strategic leadership. And he said that there has never been such a political disaster in all of our history. That's what he wrote in a statement. He said that Israel wasn't even part of the discussions when decisions were made concerning our national security. He also said that our military carried out everything that was asked of it, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and the public demonstrated amazing resilience. But there's a big but, as he says, the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, he failed politically, he failed strategically, and didn't meet a single one of his goals that he himself set. So, and then he ends up by saying, it will take us years to repair the political and strategic damage that Netanyahu created due to arrogance, negligence, and a lack of strategic planning. Basically, he's saying that people hate us now. Our allies hate us. Nobody can support us. France, Canada have been condemning Israel for their attacks in Lebanon. International organizations like the World Health Organization have been condemning these attacks as well, because Israel is trying to evacuate even hospitals where hundreds of patients are being treated inside Lebanon. So everybody's against Israel, and Yair Lapid, he is, he's quite knowledgeable, and he's an experienced politician. He sees the writing on the wall by saying that we cannot repair this political damage. So many people see this ceasefire in Israel as a negative outcome. One of them is the chair of the Knesset's National Security Committee and a member of the far-right Otzma Yehudit party, name is Zvika Fogel. He also reacted to the ceasefire, and he actually he talked against Donald Trump, calling him a wimp, a duck. Well, he wrote, "Donald, you really wimped out," basically, implying that's a Israeli. Calling him a duck, that's an Israeli slang, meaning that he's weak, that he chickened out, in essence. So again, this is a member of the Knesset, a chair of the National Security Committee inside the Parliament of Israel, calling Donald a wuss. Excuse me. Yeah, so it seems that everybody is really, they're frustrated. They're afraid of what's going to happen in next. The Israelis are deeply disappointed. Everybody's deeply disappointed. The chairman of the Israeli Beitenu party, another party in the opposition, Avigdor Lieberman, he said that this ceasefire, listen to this, gives the Ayatollah's regime a breather and an opportunity to regroup. He also said that any agreement with Iran without foregoing the destruction of Israel, we should make them stop hating us, without foregoing uranium enrichment, production of ballistic missiles, and support for terrorist organizations in the region. This means support for the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, etc. This, according to Lieberman, means we'll have to return to another campaign, military campaign, under harsher conditions and pay a heavier price. So everybody seems to be saying that we either lost, this was destructive, and we didn't meet our objectives, and we're going to keep fighting against the Iranians in the near future, and will be even more costly for us to do so. Everybody's it thinks that. They're saying that the Iranian regime is still in place, that the ballistic missile program could be rebuilt very quickly. Actually, this is true. That the Iranians have the 450 kilograms of enriched uranium at 60% purity. They're still in Iran. This is enough for Iran to build 10 nuclear bombs if they want to. So yeah, I mean, people are saying, that they're really frustrated about this, and actually other people as well. The Democrats Party leader, who is Yair Golan. Listen to this. This is a left-wing party again. He called Prime Minister Netanyahu dangerous for Israel. Why? Because, as he said, the Prime Minister failed to achieve even a single one goal that he himself set. Right? And the Israeli strategic goals were not met, and that the Iranian regime, according to Yair Golan, is coming out of the war stronger strategically than it entered it with the upper hand. I guess because the Iranians showed everybody that they're willing to, attack even other countries in the Gulf. They used the so-called quote-unquote nuclear weapon that they have, which is the Strait of Hormuz, because after this war, it seems that they will end up controlling the strait, maybe even have some new status of the strait, and they will ask ship companies to pay some kind of tariff or tax to cross it, and this will enrich the Iranian regime. So let's see what else Yair Golan said. He said that Netanyahu's political and strategic failure is even more serious. He has left Israel outside the negotiating room. Israel has lost the ability to influence and strengthen its national security. Decisions about our security have been taken away from the Israeli government and are being made over its head. To be honest, the Americans are flying now to Islamabad, Pakistan, and it's going to be the Americans negotiating with the Iranians. The Israelis are not going to be represented. Basically, what they're saying is that what this guy is saying, the head, again, of the opposition's left wing, the Democrats Party, as it's called, he's claiming that Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah will be able to rebuild and come out stronger in the next round, right? So they're going to have, going to gain some time to do what they want to become stronger in the future. And he says also that as long as this government, Bibi's government, Netanyahu's government, is in place, Israel will not be secure. Netanyahu committed a crime against Israel's security. He cannot continue to be in charge next time, in the next round of hostilities. Then we have Benny Gantz. Remember Benny Gantz? He's the leader of Blue and White Party. He's the chairman of the Blue and White Party. He said that the ceasefire announcements hold no significance, only their results we will see in the coming days and months. So he's skeptical. He's not condemning the prime minister. So I would say this is the best thing that we have been hearing from Israel is Benny Gantz's statements that let's wait and see what's going to come out of Islamabad and the meetings between the Americans and the Iranians there. He said that this campaign must not end without an agreement for the destruction or the removal of uranium, the cessation of ballistic missile production, and Iran halting the armies of proxies. Yes, he said that we reserve for ourselves in any future agreement the freedom of action against any Iranian rehabilitation attempt, continue to act against Hezbollah and hold southern Lebanon until Hezbollah is disarmed. All right, okay. Then Naftali Bennett, also a former prime minister, he also criticized the government of Netanyahu for the ceasefire. He was speaking on the live television show. He said that Prime Minister Netanyahu had failed to achieve the war's goals, and this will leave Israel facing a vengeful Iran in the future, which will be even more determined to become nuclear in the future. He also said that the reason why so many people feel disappointed tonight is that the leadership sold us illusions. All their empty promises have exploded in our faces. Unfortunately, each of us sees with our own eyes that Hamas is getting stronger, Hezbollah and Iran are standing on their own 2 feet, and this is happening because of a government that dismantles Israel from within, cannot defeat the enemy from without. Again, former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett saying that Hamas is getting stronger, Hezbollah and Iran are standing on their own feet, and he's calling the government of Netanyahu an internal enemy or threat, I guess. And he said that it's going to be even more difficult in the future to fight against them, against Hezbollah and Iran in the future. Well, on the other hand, we have the IDF spokesman General Efi Defrin, who said that we met all our goals and objectives and even exceeded them. Well, I doubt it. Everybody doubts that. The regime is still standing. Their nuclear weapons are, nuclear capacities there. The ballistic weapons are right there. They are empowered strategically and regionally with the Strait of Hormuz. Well, he's saying that we set out for Operation Roaring Lion to damage the Iranian terror regime, remove existential threats. We struck systems and capabilities of the enemy, eliminated leadership, severely hit the military industries or what have you. But yeah, that's just trying to spin things which simply are not there. They did not succeed in their in what they wanted to achieve in the first place. All right, so yes, they did suffer military defeats, the Iranians. They lost control of their airspace. Most of their leadership was assassinated, right, even the first day of war. So yes, tactically, the Israelis and the Americans, gained much. They may have won militarily, but strategically, and I would say on a long-term geopolitical level, it seems that Iran won, and the Americans were thrown out of balance, specifically when they blocked the Strait of Hormuz. When the Iranians started attacking Gulf countries, Trump was like, he lost it. That's why we saw this crazy lunacy. He became like a lunatic, threatening the erasure of Iranian civilization. That's a war crime. He was genocidal. And I would say that this was the moment, the turning point in the war, when Iran blocked the Hormuz, used their power, their geopolitical power, and Trump lost it, right? So, yeah, it seems that the operation to control the Strait of Hormuz belongs to Iran. We'll see what happens, what's going to happen in the negotiations, but it seems that the Iranians cannot trust the U.S. and Israel, and it seems that, from a PR perspective, nobody can trust the U.S. and Israel. They attacked twice the Iranians while they were negotiating, and that was a huge public relations loss, especially for Israel. Well, the Israeli campaign didn't achieve anything tangible, to be honest. But again, we'll see what happens in this meetings, these negotiations in Islamabad, and we will comment on things like that and other things in the future. There's more videos down in the loop, so please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribe already, and keep raising the flag. I'll see you in the next one. I'm really worried. This is the 10th of April that I'm saying this, but it seems that the Israelis are trying to stop this ceasefire in its tracks by attacking civilian infrastructure and civilian targets in Lebanon. It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is dealing with this political opposition in his country. It seems that he's trying to stop this ceasefire because everybody feels that, his enemies, but I guess himself, that he didn't achieve his objectives. So he's now undermining the peace process, and he wants to start a new round of war and a new round of conflict and violence, which is rather unfortunate and rather dangerous.